Hi, I wanted to hop on here and talk a little bit about some new regulation that's coming down the pipeline starting March 1st. So if you're planning to buy a home using an LLC or a trust, especially with cash, there's a new federal reporting rule coming out in March of 2026 that you should know about before you write an offer. I'm Corey with Coldwell Banker Mountain Properties, and I just wanted to give buyers a quick heads up about this new FinCEN rule that will affect certain real estate transactions starting March 1st, 2026. It's not about taxes. It doesn't stop you from buying property, but it does change what information has to be reported during closing. So what is changing? The federal government through FinCEN is expanding reporting requirements for certain residential real estate transfers. So if you're buying residential property without a traditional mortgage, and if the buyer is an LLC, a corporation, or a trust, that transaction may need to be recorded to FinCEN. This mainly affects cash deals and privately financed transactions. So why are they doing this? We see a lot of real estate scams in this area. And so basically they're trying to figure out how to cut down on this. Some common examples of the real estate scams that we see are LLCs or trusts being used to hide who is actually behind the real estate purchase. Real estate can be used to move or store illicit funds. Shell companies buy properties without clear ownership. Transactions designed to make money difficult to trace. And we happen to see a lot of it here in Montana. Historically, real estate, especially cash deals, has had very little transparency at a federal level. So for legitimate buyers using LLCs or trusts for liability, estate planning, investment purposes, it's not about suspicion, it's about transparency. The goal is to identify the real people behind the entity and not to prevent normal buyers from purchasing property. So who does this apply to? It may apply to you if you're buying with cash, you're purchasing through an LLC or a corporation, you're buying in a trust, you're an investor or purchasing a rental or second home. If you're using a traditional bank loan in your personal name, it likely won't apply, but every situation is a little bit different. So what buyers might need to provide that's a little bit different? For covered transactions, buyers should expect to provide information about the LLC or trust, details about who owns or controls it, basic identifying information required under federal law. And this information is submitted securely to FinCEN and is not public record. So there's not going to be any recorded documentation about this. Who files the report? So basically, this will probably happen at the title company level. So the report is usually filed by the closing professionals, such as the title company, escrow agent, or an attorney if we use an attorney for the closing. Buyers won't usually report this information yourself, but you will have to provide accurate information so that the closing isn't delayed. For most buyers, the biggest change is documentation, not cost. That said, because this is new, transactions involving LLCs or trusts may require more coordination on the title company's part, and we may see those rates change a little bit. Why I'm telling you this now. So I don't want you to be surprised at the closing table, because the last thing we want is surprises and to be sitting there ready to close on something and then find out that we don't have the paperwork that we need to do it. So my role as a real estate professional is to help you understand what's coming, make you sure the right professionals are involved, and to keep your transaction moving smoothly. This rule doesn't stop you from buying. It just adds compliance step for certain structures. So what should you do now? If you're planning on buying a property using an LLC or a trust, we need to know this early on. We need to be prepared to provide ownership information if required, and maybe loop in your attorney or CPA. If you have questions about how this rule might apply to your situation, I'm happy to talk it through and connect you with the right professionals. And if you're planning to purchase in 2026 or beyond, it's another reason to work with an agent who stays ahead of the changes. I hope you have a great day. And again, if you have any questions or concerns, go ahead and reach out. Thanks for watching. Make sure you click the subscribe button so you don't miss out on any new videos. And if you have a topic you'd like me to cover, drop it in the comments below.